What's going on, everyone? Jayricofilms here, coming at you with my very first movie night. Now, I already have a movie selected of my choice, and it is one of my favorite movies of all time. And before I tell you this movie in particular that I'm going to watch, I kind of want to give you a rundown of what to expect while watching this video. So generally what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you my video. I might show you some clips of the film of certain scenes, not to spoil anything about the film, but just certain scenes that I enjoy about it. And then after that, I'll, pretty much tell you the rundown of my thoughts about the movie and my recommendation of, or why I'm recommending this movie to you. And yeah, I mean, it's just an experience, first time movie night. So the first film that I've chosen to kickstart my movie nights is a personal favorite of mine, and also one of my favorite romantic films of all time, and it's Leo McCarey's An Affair to Remember, starring Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr. This movie was filmed in 1957, and I believe, in my opinion, is the greatest romantic film ever made. And that's a strong statement, I know, and I might get a lot of heat for it. Why don't you, put Casablanca on the list? Why don't you put Gone with the Wind? There's so many romantic films that touched on all levels. But this one in particular is just a personal favorite of mine. Everything about it, the acting, the characters, the storyline, it's all just put together well. And, you can't go wrong with Cary Grant. Everyone knows this guy. And Deborah Kerr, she's just an elegant, beautiful actress. I think she starred in 40-plus films, and she's had a illustrious career, acting career. So, these two actors in particular, they just give off a tremendous chemistry together, and I believe they matched perfectly in their roles in this film. And I highly recommend this film. I just highly recommend this film to everyone, even film lovers out there. You have to check out An Affair to Remember. And I'd like to hear your experiences of this film as well. So without further ado, I'm going to pop this bad boy in and get started. And I'll get back to you guys after I watch this film.
Is a wondrous thing that we'll rejoice in remembering. Our love was born with our first embrace, and a page was torn out of time and space.
I've been looking everywhere for you. I called your cabin, sir. You've been crying.
Mm-hmm. Beauty does that to me. Nikki, I want to thank you for the loveliest and the most memorable day I've ever known.
You were very sweet to my little grandmother.
I'm going to write to her.
That'll be nice.
Let's walk, hmm? Nicky.
Oh, I was so worried that
I didn't even have time to get dressed. I didn't get to sleep until 5.
I didn't sleep at all.
Oh. Now listen carefully.
Yes.
If everything goes right, and I
Yes.
mean for both of us, in 6 months, here, I started to write it out.
Should I read it now? All right. Darling, that's me?
Mm-hmm.
You have a date, my beloved, July the 1st at 5 o'clock. But you don't say where.
Well, you name the place and I'll obey.
I don't know. I can't think. How about the top of the Empire State Building?
Oh, yes, that's perfect. It's the nearest thing to heaven we have in New York.
The 102nd floor. And don't forget to take the elevator.
No, I won't. Darling, if things don't work out...
Don't talk like that. I'm not listening.
But just in case one of us
We'll
is...
both be there. Hold the thought.
Hold the thought. Take care.
Take care.
Alright guys, so I just finished watching this movie. You know, I have it on my, I was running it on my PS4 down here. You know, it's this ghetto setup right here. But let me get back to you because I can't actually flip this camera around while I'm still recording. So I'm going to go back to my usual Blu-ray spot and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I just finished watching this film, and no, I didn't wear my hat while I was watching this film. I just had to wear this hat because it's a trademark. I always have to wear caps when I film, ever since my first video. So yeah, well, without further ado, An Affair to Remember, what can I say? The experience of it was complete the same, you know, as I viewed it before. I haven't viewed this film in probably in a couple months. I've just been watching a lot of other films, you know, that I've been picking up, but this one in particular, and I just received this digibook, by the way. I have the regular Amore case version of this film, but, you know, I opted to get An Affair to Remember digibook because I've always wanted this film, but on this format, digibook format, but it was always around like 20, 25 bucks, and caught it at a good deal, $10. So definitely check this movie out. I think it's running for $10 on Amazon. I know Brett, the movie guy, he picked up The Hustler and Affair to Remember for 10 bucks. I think The Hustler for 8 bucks and then Affair to Remember for 10 bucks, but that's besides the point because this, I'm supposed to be telling you about my experience on Affair to Remember, not any deals. So my experience was completely the same, like I just said. I don't want to tell you too much about the storyline because I want everyone to view it and tell me what your experience is for the very first time, you know. And I feel like one of these, this film in particular, or any other films, I mean, it's going to be a complete blind buy, obviously, you know, if you haven't even seen this film or even heard this film. But the storyline is so original, and it's so it's different from the modern day romantic films that we have now. You know, it's all cliche, and this film in particular, it was just kind of like an outsider. You know, it had its own little category, and you know, I don't want to get too much, or I don't want to even like share the storyline with you because I want everyone to experience it for the first time. And I feel like it's one of those films that needs to be experienced like that. And Deborah Carr and Cary Grant, their just chemistry together is so perfect. And, you know, the title says it all, An Affair to Remember. So, you know, there's some infidelity going on, an affair going on. And, you know, you can't bypass true love when it, you know, when it strikes you, even in the strangest places. And where these two met, you know, on a boat, you know, it was just kind of out of the blue. You know, you wouldn't expect this type of thing to happen. But things do happen in life that changes people's, you know, love interest and such forth. But this movie is a 10 out of 10 for me. And my experience with it, again, was on point, you know, and I can't praise this film enough because every time I watch this film, it's like I'm watching it for the first time, and I'm experiencing this storyline for the first time, and I'm feeling everything emotionally for the first time. And you know, the ending, the climatic scene, you know, at the very end, you know, everything that leads up to that climatic sequence is just perfect. You know, it ties everything together, and it ends on a perfect note. You know, I wouldn't end it any better than it has in this film. And Leo McCarey, he actually filmed a 1939 film. I think it's called Love Affair. You know, and this is pretty much a remake of it. And I haven't seen Love Affair, but I read a little bit about it, and I heard that, you know, they took a lot of scenes from this, or a lot of scenes from Love Affair were taken to make this film in particular. And as much as I love this film, you know, I can't wait to check out Love Affair by Leo McCarey. And I don't know if I showed this previous, but I recommend Sleepless in Seattle, because this film in particular is pretty much a remake of Affair to Remember, like a modern day 90s and Affair to Remember. And, you know, they based their whole scenario around an Affair to Remember in Sleepless in Seattle. So Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, definitely check this movie out, 93. So yeah, to end things on a quick note, because I don't want to carry on too long with this film or this short movie night, Affair to Remember, check this movie out. You won't be disappointed. You can add this on to JX Rico's recommendation list. I would say my top 5 recommendation list. You know, I want to get through my favorite films of each genre, and I feel that starting it off with Affair to Remember was the perfect selection, perfect choice. And again, starring Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr, please check this film out. So JX Rico, signing out.